Hidden histories, the untold stories of the bonus army near nuclear war and more. Hey there, welcome to the Silent Newsroom. You know how in history class it sometimes feels like we're just going over the same old battles and speeches? Like we're barely scratching the surface of what actually happened. That's what this channel is all about, diving deep into the stories you might not have heard, the events that don't always make it into the textbooks. Today we're talking about hidden histories. We're going to journey through time to explore some lesser-known events that have shaped our world in surprising ways. From the streets of Washington, D.C. to the brink of nuclear war, we're going to uncover the stories of the bonus army, a near-nuclear disaster, and more. Get ready, because history is about to get a whole lot more interesting. The Forgotten March, the story of the bonus army. Picture this, it's 1932, the Great Depression is in full swing, and thousands of World War I veterans are marching on Washington, D.C. These veterans, dubbed the bonus army, were promised cash bonuses for their service, but with the economy in shambles, they're demanding early payment. Imagine the scene: over 40,000 veterans, many with their families, setting up makeshift camps across the city. They're desperate, they're frustrated, and they're not backing down. For months, the bonus army lived in these camps, hoping their pleas would be heard. But on July 28th, everything changed. Police and U.S. Army troops, led by a name you might recognize, General Douglas MacArthur, were ordered to disperse the veterans. Tear gas filled the air, bayonets were drawn, and the veterans, many of whom were injured, were driven out. It was a dark day in American history, a stark reminder of how quickly hope can turn to violence. Officially, there were no deaths directly linked to the clash, but the scars of that day ran deep. The bonus army may have been forgotten by some, but their struggle for recognition and fair treatment continues to resonate today. It took years, but in 1936, Congress finally approved the bonus payments. A bittersweet victory for sure, but a victory nonetheless. In 1983, the nuclear close call you never knew about. The year is 1983. The Cold War is at its peak. Tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union are about as high as they can get. And on September 26th, the world came perilously close to nuclear annihilation. Deep inside a Soviet bunker, an alarm screamed out, flashing ominous red lights. A US missile launch had been detected. The protocol was clear: retaliate immediately. But one man, a Soviet officer named Stanislav Petrov, hesitated. Petrov had a gut feeling that something wasn't right. The signals, he thought, looked off. He made a choice that went against his training, a choice that quite possibly saved millions of lives. He dismissed the alarm as a false alarm, and he was right. Years later, declassified Soviet records revealed that the early warning system had malfunctioned, mistaking sunlight reflecting off clouds for missile launches. Think about that for a second. A computer glitch, a human error, almost led to a full-blown nuclear war. It's a chilling reminder of how fragile peace can be, how close we came to a very different kind of history. Stanislav Petrov's story remained a secret for years, hidden away in the annals of the Cold War. But his courage, his willingness to trust his gut in the face of unimaginable pressure, is a story that deserves to be told and retold. Chapter 3. The Bengal Famine, a forgotten tragedy. The year is 1943. World War II is raging. But halfway across the world, in Bengal, India, a different kind of devastation is unfolding, a famine of unimaginable proportions. Between 1943 and 1944, as the world grappled with war, Bengal was gripped by a deadly combination of drought, war-related disruptions, and British policies that prioritized wartime needs over the needs of the Bengali people. Rice, a staple food in Bengal, was being exported to support the war effort, leaving millions to starve. The British government, preoccupied with the war, was slow to respond to the crisis. Imagine entire villages decimated by hunger, families torn apart, children dying in their mothers' arms. The official death toll is estimated to be between 2 and 3 million, but some historians believe the actual number could be much higher. The Bengal famine is a harrowing reminder of the devastating consequences of war, colonialism, and government inaction. It's a story of human suffering on a massive scale, a story that's often overshadowed by the larger narrative of World War II. The famine had a profound impact on Bengal, shaping its political and social landscape for decades to come. And while the events of 1943 to 1944 may be in the past, the lessons we can learn from them are as relevant as ever. Chapter 4, Deer Island, a dark chapter in American history. We often think of concentration camps as a 20th century horror, but the forced confinement of people is sadly not a new concept. And in 17th century America, a tragic chapter unfolded on a small island in Boston Harbor, Deer Island. The year is 1675. King Philip's War, a brutal conflict between English colonists and Native American tribes, is raging across New England. Caught in the crossfire were the praying Indians, Native Americans who had converted to Christianity and sided with the colonists. Fearing their loyalty, colonial authorities in Massachusetts ordered the internment of hundreds of praying Indians on Deer Island. Conditions on the island were horrific, crammed into tight spaces with limited food and exposed to the harsh New England winter. Many of the internees, weakened by disease and starvation, perished. The exact number of deaths remains unknown, a grim testament to the brutality of the time. Deer Island serves as a stark reminder of the dark side of American history, a time when fear and prejudice led to the unjust imprisonment and death of innocent people. Today, Deer Island stands as a testament to this forgotten tragedy. It's a place where the past and present collide, a reminder that we must learn from history's mistakes to create a more just and equitable future. Chapter 5, The Osage Murders, Oil, Greed and a Conspiracy of Silence. The Roaring Twenties, a time of jazz, flapper dresses and unprecedented prosperity. But in Osage County, Oklahoma, a much darker story was unfolding, a tale of greed, murder, and a conspiracy that reached the highest levels of power. The Osage Nation had something everyone wanted: oil. Their land sat atop vast reserves of black gold, making them some of the wealthiest people in the country. But their newfound wealth came at a steep price. Starting in the early 1920s, a string of mysterious deaths plagued the Osage people. Shootings, poisonings, even explosions. The methods varied, but the outcome was always the same. Another dead Osage, their oil wealth passed on to white beneficiaries. Over 20 Osage people were murdered. Their deaths often ruled as accidents or suicides, but the truth, as it often does, began to unravel. A young FBI agent, determined to get to the bottom of the killings, uncovered a sinister plot, a conspiracy to systematically kill off the Osage and steal their oil rights. The investigation revealed a web of corruption involving prominent businessmen, local law enforcement, and even members of the Ku Klux Klan. The mastermind, a wealthy rancher named William Hale, used his influence and connections to orchestrate the murders, all to get his hands on the Osage's oil money. To Chapter 6, Digging Deeper, the never-ending story of history. So there you have it. 5 stories, 5 glimpses into the hidden corners of history. From the streets of Washington, D.C. to a Soviet bunker on high alert, from the famine-stricken fields of Bengal to a small island in Boston Harbor and the oil-rich lands of Oklahoma, we've journeyed through time, uncovering the stories that often get left behind. If you enjoyed this deep dive into hidden histories, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to The Silent Newsroom for more. Because history isn't just dates and names in a textbook, it's a story, a living, breathing story that connects us all. And sometimes the most important stories are the ones that are the hardest to find.